Questa sera sto andando a vedere un pianista che non conosco, è un pianista ucraino e ha 75 anni e ha inventato una tecnica musicale che si chiama continuous music, che è una musica che lui suona e gli armonici continuano a risuonare il pianoforte e crea un suono ricchissimo e sembra che ci siano almeno 3 pianisti a suonare il pianoforte e vi farò vedere 2 o 3 video.
Intermediary level. It's not simple. But this one helps you to get into that. But listen,
I'm a self-studied pianist, so for me it's not so simple. But I will try.
yeah.
Do you think it's better to start with this one, with the meditation
Yeah,
one?
yeah.
Okay.
It's much
And I
better.
really appreciated what you said before about to let this music continues in the future.
Yeah,
You know,
Yeah.
also Philip Glass,
yeah.
with
But his
the,
music will continue because
yeah,
everybody's
but
playing it.
he said the same thing about the etudes.
Uh-huh.
He wants also to coming up in the future some other pianists to play it.
Yeah,
I think this is the beauty of music.
yeah. But these
We
are
can
harder.
share
Yeah,
something.
yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Hopefully we'll be in touch. Because,
Yeah, I know. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, it's on. Good evening and welcome to this concert of continuous music. And I would like to explain what my music really is. And this is important because nobody writes about continuous music. There are no articles, no one is explaining what it is to people. So I would like to take a few minutes now to explain this music, what you're going to hear. 50 years ago is the birth of continuous music for the piano. And when I began this journey, I had no idea where it was going to end. But I did know the beginning. And the beginning is the voice of the piano. It's a magnificent voice that never was allowed to sing out, to exist. Up until continuous music, the piano was simply an instrument like any other to create classical music or pop tunes or whatever. But continuous music is much more than that. In fact, the music, if one calls it the basic concept of a melody or harmony and things like that, and continuous music is not that important. It's the sound of the piano that continuous music releases. And so, continuous music is probably the closest that people can get to Zen. Because in Zen, sound is the voice of God. And people think of light, so that we see things as really important. And of course it is, because we need light to be able to function and do everything we do. But there is something more powerful than light. That is sound. Don't forget that when God made this universe, or this world, I won't call it universe, this world that we live in, He's had to speak the words out loud. Let there be light. Otherwise, there would be no light. The sound is the supreme master of everything. And if you don't really think about God or the creation of the world, there's another aspect you can understand. I think everyone can understand. Everyone knows Harry Potter, right? And so, Harry Potter cannot do magic without sound. Magic is superior to light. Magic will turn this room upside down. Magic can do anything. But what is it that commands magic? When Harry Potter waves his wand, he cannot think the formula, the words. They have to be spoken out loud. The sound, the magic of sound will do magic. And so, when you hear this piano music, don't forget to open your ears to the sound of this wonderful instrument. And just know that the sound is the most important element in my music, the sound of the piano's voice. So I'm going to open the concert with a new work that's been going on for a few months. I've been developing. And so every concert, this piece is a little different because it's not really set, but the basic ideas are there, so I play with them. And this piece has no name, but I think that's very good, you know. So it's just the sound of the piano, and it's what I call the glory of the piano. Thank you. so that other people can play, because it's not difficult like the first piece. Continuous music has different levels. And so the first piece you heard is a little bit impossible for pianists to play until they've trained for a few years and can do things. But this next piece is actually accessible to a lot of people who play piano. And it's also an introduction to playing continuous music, because in the middle of this piece, there's a pattern section where the two hands play this kind of minimalistic pattern music, which was actually one of the original engines that started continuous music going. And so the piece is written down, and at the table there, after the concert, I have the scores and a few other pieces, simple pieces, so people can start learning continuous music. And this is the second reason I play it, is because I want that other people can play continuous music. And it drives me crazy when I see the reaction of some sort of classical pianists, not all, but a few, who think, oh, I can play that, that's nothing, you know, he's just playing arpeggios. I'm not playing arpeggios. And my hands and fingers are moving so fast, they can't even dream of playing what I played for you. What I played for you was not the highest speed possible. The highest speed possible is 150% faster than the fastest concert pianist in the world, or of all history. And that's not because I'm so great. I'm not great at all. I'm nothing. Really, what's great is the ability to do continuous music, which is a whole other world. I'm hoping that maybe this piece, Butterfly, will instill some interest in people to get the music and start playing it, even if it's not really the simplest thing, but it's still accessible for a pianist. And the third reason I play it is because I really love the piece, and it's really fun to play. And this is a very important aspect of continuous music. It's very easy to play. It's extremely easy to play. It's like breathing. Once you can do it, you can do anything. It's sort of like, imagine that you could float above the ground. If you learned the technique of being able to float without gravity above the ground. And that's hard. That's hard. But once you can float above the ground, then you can just fly. Flying over mountains is nothing. So playing continuous music is nothing. It's not an effort at all, and it's a great joy. And you probably noticed that I'm getting old. And it breaks my heart to think that when I'm gone, no one will ever hear this music again. Because the recordings, well, okay, they're nice, you know, it's nice to listen to, and it's the music, and you can, as a listener, you can enjoy the recordings, but it's nothing like hearing the real piano. The real sound of the real piano, not a synthetic imitation. And especially with the digital sound, which is the worst sound that, I mean, it means recording in 1908 was better than what we have in 2008, really. I mean, the digital sound is the most horrible thing you can imagine. But people seem to listen to it, and they don't even listen to digital sound. Now they listen to MP3, which is even less. It's 1/4 of a real, or less, maybe 1/10 of a real digital wave file. But people listen to that, and I don't know why. I'm hoping maybe some people will start to discover the joy of listening to piano in your home, having real speakers. You know, like, as you can see, I guess I have a history in the hippie world, you know? And so the hippies, what was the most important thing that a hippie had? It wasn't marijuana. It wasn't anything except the speakers, so you could listen to your albums, whether you were listening to classical music or rock or whatever, but you had wonderful speakers and would listen to real analog recordings. So anyway, what I'm trying to explain to you is that there's a real risk, because this music is so hard to do, and no concert pianist can play it. Like, there's no one in the world, not alive or ever before me, who could play that first piece that I played for you. You may think they can, but I know they can't. And I've spoken to concert pianists, and they look at what I'm happening, because they have eyes and ears. They say, no way, we can't. So who's going to play this music? Maybe some of you, maybe someone. I do teach online, like private lessons with audio visual. So I would encourage more and more people to start learning to play this, because you don't start playing hard stuff. You start with the very easiest things which everyone can do, and then you build up. So anyway, okay, I guess I better stop and start playing the music. I hope you understood what I said. But anyway, okay, here then is a little bit shorter version of Butterfly, which is recorded. If you like it, it is, well actually, yeah, the last piece and this one are recorded and available after the concert. Okay, thank you. piece is called The Sacred Thousand. And it's about the soul of the Ukrainian people. And there's so much that needs to be said. And I really shouldn't have to explain these things to you, because everyone should already know. But because the world has hidden us, my people are unknown. You know that there's a country called Ukraine, but you don't know that there are Ukrainian people. And they're not just people who live in a certain geographic area. They're real people. We Ukrainians have been on the soil of Ukraine for thousands of years. We're completely different people from the Russians. In fact, the Russians never existed until around the year 1200 after Christ. They're a completely new breed of human being, if you can call, well, we don't call them human beings, so forgive me, I won't call them human beings. We call them pigs and orcs and creatures from hell. Because the world does not know what the Russians are. And if you're wondering why the Russians are so brutal, so animalistic, so cruel in what they're doing to the Ukrainian people and to my country, there's a reason. Because Ukrainians are the only people in the world who have seen and know the soul of the Russian monster. Everyone else in the world thinks they're just people. We know that they are not. And this is why Putin and pretty well 95%, 99% of the Russian people want to destroy us. Because it's like we are neighbors. And supposing you have a neighbor who can see beyond the facade that you create. And this neighbor knows your crimes. And this neighbor knows the ugliness of what you are. And this neighbor is the only person in the world who knows. You are going to hate that neighbor and you will try to kill them. And that's what the Russians want to do. This is not about land only. This is about eliminating the Ukrainian people from the face of the earth. This is a war of hatred. This is why the Russian soldiers have raped thousands of Ukrainian girls. They have not raped one Russian girl. There are millions of Russian girls, well, probably at least 1 million in Ukraine. There's, a lot of Russians living in our country. But not one has been raped or touched or hurt. Not one. Why? Because she is not Ukrainian. And this music is about the suffering of my people, these people who don't exist. But through my music, I think you will feel what the Ukrainian people are. And this music is called The Sacred Thousand because it's about the heroism of the Ukrainian men and women, the last holdouts at the Azov steel plant. This was way back when the invasion started and Mariupol was destroyed. And when I say about Mariupol destroyed, the people of Italy, if you can imagine Putin attacking you and attacking the city of Bologna, there would not be even one stone left. If you've seen the photographs of what the Russians have done to my country and to my cities, there's nothing left, nothing. Even the photos of the Allied destruction of German cities after the Second World War, which was a horrendous, criminal act. The war was over, and the Allies start bombing the cities and destroying everything. You know, it's a wonder. It seems that people, when they get power, they go crazy. But anyway, even that destruction of the German cities is nothing to what the Russians have done to my cities, to my people. And I made this music for the young men and women who have no eyes left, who have no hands, who have no feet, and those who are dead, and for the little children who were blown up, and the orphans. And about the orphans, you understand that they have stated that it's at least 800,000 Ukrainian children have been forcibly taken into Russia to be put into Russian families and to be taught the Russian language and to be trained to be Russian soldiers to go and kill Ukrainians. This is the mentality of Putin, but it's not just Putin, it's the Russian mentality. It's a mentality of hatred against everyone. And if he turns his eye of hatred upon you, Italy will have a hard time. If NATO were not here, you would be gone. So think about these young men and women and children and the grandparents and people who have died and the cities that no longer exist. We're not talking about one city, two cities, three. We're talking about 50 cities that have been destroyed completely. Nothing is left. Just a wasteland, a disaster. And this music starts with the tragedy of, and the suffering of my country and my people. But the piece actually changes towards the end and becomes a hymn of the heroism of the soldiers at the Azov steel plant who were broken, had no medicine. They were hurt and bleeding and thirsty and hungry, but they would not give up. And there's a theme, like a mantra, that just keeps repeating. And it's the mantra of their soul, of their hearts and their heroism. And it is my hope that Italy and the people of Italy will continue to give help to Ukraine as much as you can. And it's not just to help us. Don't be like Trump in America. Trump is this evil monster who has sort of sucked up all the evil deep inside people's hearts and made it rise up. So that all of these people who love Donald is greater than God, you should know. You know, he really is. You know, if those people had a choice between God and Donald Trump, they would take Donald Trump. And what is it that unites them all? It's a selfishness, an incredible, horrible, evil selfishness that the only thing that matters in life is that I have my steak, I have my gasoline in my truck, and I have my gun. And everybody else go to hell. Don't be like those people. Be like the Good Samaritan. Be like what God wants us to be, that we care for one another. We don't have to help Ukraine because we want to protect ourselves. We need to help other people who are in trouble. Not to protect. Don't send help to Ukraine so that you can protect yourselves in the future through this. No, help people who need your help. And everything, all the money that I get from the sale of the albums and the CDs and the music notes and everything, all of it, everything, I've given in the last 2 years to the Ukrainian soldiers. I do not give it to the Ukrainian government. It's sent directly to the soldiers so they can buy what they need. So we have several contact routes into Ukraine. And so if you like my music, then you do two nice things. You get my music home, and also you help the people of Ukraine. So thank you so much. This is the last piece after in the concert, and it's called The Sacred Thousand. Thank you.
Il concerto è finito, è stato fantastico, ho preso anche gli spartiti, anche se è una bella sfida. Infatti quando sono andato a farmi autografare gli spartiti il pianista mi ha fatto i complimenti per averli presi, perché comunque è veramente una bella sfida, però Voglio entrare all'interno di questo metodo, di questa continuous music, come l'ha chiamata lui, perché è stato un viaggio ipnotico, è stato veramente un concerto pazzesco, mi ha portato letteralmente in un'altra dimensione. In più, osservare lui mentre suonava ad occhi chiusi questi brani è stato incredibile, veramente incredibile. Ha trasmesso tutto quello che la musica e il suono può fare, ma soprattutto una delle riflessioni che ho trovato molto molto interessanti è stata quella sul suono, proprio sul potere che il suono ha e che lui definisce come la nascita di tutto. Ha paragonato a un certo punto il fatto, no, che dice Harry Potter, ad esempio, che faceva le magie, però prima di fare le magie cosa faceva? Emetteva un suono, e quindi lui dice il suono è la base di ogni cosa ed è quello che ha dato la vita a tutto, quindi senza il suono non ci sarebbe neanche la luce, quindi non ci sarebbe neanche la vita. E questa direi che è la riflessione più importante che mi porto a casa questa sera, e adesso nei prossimi mesi, forse anche nel prossimo anno intero, mi immergerò in questo brano spettacolare che vi invito ad andare ad ascoltare. Si chiama Barcarolle.